unlocking your world of creativity with best-selling author and brand innovator, Mark Stinson. This episode is brought to you by White Cloud Coffee Roasters, where every bean tells a story of adventure. Visit whitecloudcoffee.com and use the code CREATIVITY.
Welcome back, friends, to our podcast, Your World of Creativity, the show where we dive into the creative minds and leaders everywhere around the globe about how we get inspired and how we can organize ideas, and most of all, how we launch our work out into the world. I'm Mark Stinson, and today we're going to explore the intersection of creativity, branding, personal growth with someone who's built unforgettable brands and her own brand from the ground up. My guest is Judy Winslow. Judy, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Mark. It's thrilled to be here.
Oh, Judy, and I love your handle, the Brandologist. It has this combination of mixologist, that's sort of an informal, fun, almost bartender of our brand, but also scientist. Brandologist says maybe there's some science and structure behind building our brands. How do you feel about that?
Heck yeah. I believe that my definition is that brandology is the art and science of bringing our best to business and life.
I love that. And you've seen it over your decades of experience, but helping Fortune 100 companies, visionary entrepreneurs build their own powerful brands. I love the books that you've recently launched. One is Ignite Your Faith, and the other, Third Act Encore. Being in my third act, I can really relate to this idea. What kind of strategies and personal development do you feel like we need to maximize in our third act?
The book is really an invitation to embrace and treasure. We're in a culture that does not value particular phases of the journey. And really, the book is about setting that straight. So we know that there are many populations, if you will, that are, right now, everyone is suffering so much in so many ways. It's really a challenge to be a human on the planet right now. And there's different parts of our lives that can be very challenging, or I think misrepresented, if you will. And I think that I find that this chapter of life, this people thinking, oh, once you're over whatever picture they have, whether that's 20 or 15 or what constitutes like old.
Yes, whatever their hill is.
Yeah, I was telling a story over the weekend. I was with some old friends and I was sharing a story about when I was a kid, and they help you plant this little seed in a cup right when you're little, and then you get to watch it grow, and then they say, take it home, and then you take it home. So I wanted to plant mine, and I was going to plant mine next door at this, like, on the side, the strip of grass between the sidewalk and the street. And I remember vividly, I don't know why I remember this, but I remember sitting on the street thinking, wow, I'm planting this little tree, and I hope it gets to grow up and I get to see it. I wonder how big it'll be in the year 2000. And then I did the map and I was like, holy crap, you're going to be so old then. And now that wasn't actually that old. So
Exactly.
perspective is everything. So
It
that's
is.
kind of what the book is about. Like, what is your perspective and how are you holding this as well as your journey? Is this the best chapter? Is the best yet to come? Who are you being? And that's a big part of personal leadership, personal growth, as you mentioned, how we see our life. And you know what? Is the glass half full or half empty? Like, we get to decide.
Yes.
So I'm still deciding. I'm deciding that this
And I
is the
guess
best.
related to the science of this, so you often talk about the DNA or the it factor of a memorable brand. So considering this and your experience, what are some of the key ingredients in our third chapter? What should we be thinking about? I know you often talk about emotional and authentic and lasting connections that a brand has. Can we build that ourselves as well?
Yeah, so I guess really the invitation, I tell my whole story, and mine happens to be a bit of a Burning Man kind of story. But what I think is so cool about, actually, there's a man in the book, his name is Benny Reitvold, and he happens to be with the band Santana. And I thought, when I read his chapter, I was so excited because I think he said it best. It's like when you're in your 20s, people are like, rock on, rock and roll. This is the best time. It doesn't get any better than this. And he said, you know what? All of that's a lie. The best time is actually now. It's in your third act. It's when you don't give a F about what other people say, when you are more comfortable in your own skin, when you know who you are, when you have sort of the battle scars, if you will, as well as the treasured moments that have made you. And I think at this point in life, it's a beautiful time to really sit down and remember what it took to get here and the bravery and the courage and the tenacity and all of it, right? Like we have to, I have this little expression. I love acronyms, and one of my acronyms is for life. And I believe that stands for let's include flippin' everything. So it's not just the good, it's all of it. So how can you include it all and honor yourself for where you are and where you're going, and leave out that the scars are what makes us beautiful? Isn't there a song like that?
I'm sure there is.
There is.
I should be playing it right now. And it's yeah.
This would be our theme song.
Well, in our careers too, we think about building brands for profit, and certainly that has its place. But adding purpose, adding passion, adding this personal side is so important too. And I loved one of the things I read on your website, that it's really a disservice if we don't bring our gifts to the world. That you were talking about, maybe this is the time, maybe it's not. We debate with ourselves whether or not we should be bringing our gifts to the world. What can we learn from just putting it out there?
You touched on something I think is so important, which is that for us to live a full, expressed life, like I believe that your business is your number one opportunity for full self expression as an adult. So, what does that mean? It means that everything that you do is an opportunity for you to share a little piece of yourself, a piece of your heart, a piece of your soul. You know, I always say that your brand is the soul of your business, but it's just also a piece of reflection, a part of the soul of you. There is no one else like you on earth. That's just the way it is there. And I think part of the gap is that we keep looking for people and others to understand us and to mirror us and to really get us like entirely. But that really can't happen because we're all so damn unique. So how do we embrace that and then leverage that so that we live a professional life, whether you're a business owner or an employee or a customer? Like, how do you get to show up and really be you and be embraced for that? And you can't do that in every sandbox. Not everyone is going to accept you, want you, love you, embrace you, but that's okay. Not everyone likes vanilla. Not everyone likes coffee. Ice cream is one of my least favorites. Sorry. And I was just with a bunch of people and they were like, oh my God, coffee ice cream, let's get that. And that's more for you.
Yes.
I'm going to have something else.
I'll have mine.
And that's why 31 flavors a million years ago when Baskin Robbins had 31 flavors. We were like, ooh, because that's what we have. We have many flavors in this world. So instead of trying to push that away, what would happen if we embraced that and sought to learn and elevate that rather than diminish it? And we're living in a time where it seems that many beliefs and feelings and privileges are being tamped down. And I believe in the opposite. If you are living in a way that does not hurt yourself or others, enjoy. That's why we're here. We are here to generate joy, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many others.
So
Start
good.
it. Yeah.
So good. And a lot of people are thinking about, how do I get my voice heard? How do I get my brand noticed? There's so much noise and clutter. And I talk to friends oh, I don't want to be on social media because of this or that, or, oh, it doesn't seem to fit me, or I don't want to dance on TikTok. They think that's getting their voice heard because that's the trendy thing to do. On the other hand, there's a lot of people who have a great story. They don't have to fake it. Just get your voice out there in a lot of different ways. Find your own channel.
Yeah. There's so many ways. It's such a misnomer to say there's only one way. If you're not on TikTok, you'll never succeed. What?
Uh-huh.
So part of the sort of journey is to figure out what is the best outlet for me, not for everyone else. What is the best outlet for me? So some people like to write. I used to really not like to write. Not only did I not like it, I was terrible. now I deeply enjoy it. And like people seem to enjoy my writing. It's shocking, but it's also really fun. Where do you want to play? Do you like to do podcasts? Do you sing? Are you better at standing on your head? Are you better in the water? What about you? Because I put money on that there's something unique about you that you can leverage, that you can use, that you can enjoy, and that you can embrace and lean into. No one's saying that you're going to start today and then tomorrow you're going to be famous for this. No, it doesn't work that way. It's really creativity is mostly, it's a serious yet playful endeavor. And there's no reason that you can't bring that to every aspect of your being in your life. So first take a look at where can you play that you enjoy? And then how do you amplify that? And if you don't enjoy doing it, can you delegate it? Can you originate it? And there's so many ways to do it. And that's why I offer bespoke programming and strategic planning, because you're not like anyone else. Neither is your product. And we are going to create a customized approach so that you are proud and happy and delighted, because it's not just what you're doing, it's the energy behind it that will really make the impact.
I love that you bring up this energy and that your practice is to help people find clarity. I couldn't help but think about, as you were describing all these sort of, I'll call them external things that you could get involved in. What about that inner work? What about really appreciating the gifts or the strengths? And you can't jump into it unless you believe it, but you've got to look inside.
It all starts A, from within, and B, with our thinking. I'm a really big fan of Wallace Wattles, who wrote The Science of Getting Rich. And he wrote basically that thoughts are things. And it's funny, I had a puppy who is no longer with me, but I named him Wallace Wattles. He really was very waddly. So his name was Wallace Wattles Winslow, WWW. And because he was number 67 in a large hoarding case. And I thought it was so cool that he manifested this whole new life and world. And I'm like, you go, dude, because that's exactly what Wallace Wattles spoke about, that thoughts are things and that we create our experience. So we have to, and then that's a Jack Canfield principle, which is so normal and unapplied or not applied often enough, in that we are responsible for what we're creating out here in the world. So when we pair responsibility with generating joy, we get some really cool results. So how does that show up for you? What's important to you? What do you value? What do you want to bring to the world? What do you want to leave a room with when you leave the room? What's important to you? Like, the inner investigation and inquiry is so critical, because it does show up on the outside, and it does show up in your friend groups, in your activities, in how you express through business, in how your art shows up, in where your art shows up, like in all the things. It's a big deal.
I'm glad you brought up Jack Canfield. I found that this was a big piece of overlap between your background and mine, and that is studying and learning and working with Jack Canfield. The 100% responsibility, that has just been branded into my forehead. But one of his other principles was, in order to GET, you have to ASK. Have you found that your confidence, maybe I'll call it, in asking for insight, asking for experience, asking for help, has increased with our number of chapters, with our number of acts in our lives? What do you think?
It's so funny that you bring that up, because so Jack says you should always be an asshole, which I think is very
Nice.
And I have to fess up that I'm not very great at asking. I'm getting better. And it's one of those things that you have to figure out again for yourself. One of the things I've really noticed about myself is I'm terrible at asking for me, but I'm really good at asking for something else. So when I was building TEDx and I could ask on behalf of TEDx, heck yeah, I could do that. I'm building something now, a project I'm involved in that I'm really passionate about. Can I ask to move that forward, to kick that ball down the hill? Oh yeah. But when I'm like, hi, it's me, and I would like to ask, yeah, not so
Did I
much.
get a refund?
Actually, yesterday I went into Trader Joe's. This is funny too. So I bought something at Trader Joe's, and their stuff is great. I bought a insulated bag. I live in Florida. And the bag was like totally shredding, and I just got it. Like my old Publix bag lasted for 2 decades. So I went in and I went up to the desk and I said, "Hi, I just want to let you know you look very nice today, and I'm about to complain."
Mhm.
So I had to announce my complaint, and they looked at me like, "What?" Because I was complaining, but so nicely. I think it was confusing.
It's like, I'm actually feeling good about this
Yeah, I
complaint.
know. Yeah. I said, "You don't understand. I'm really proud of myself for complaining because I know it was like $5, but this is not okay. You should not be putting these products in the world." It's
Yes.
pretty funny. But yeah. So no, look, we're all a work in progress, and I am too. Still
And
learning.
the legacy of the Brandologist, when you're working with icons, you've worked with iconic brands that last. We think about brands that last. What do you think it takes for a brand or an individual brand to really leave a legacy and a mark over time?
That's a great question because in so many ways, it's such a mystery, right? So many of the great brands, they started out as somebody messing around on their kitchen table or in their garage, and they've gone on to become legacy brands. The first one that comes to mind that's really current is Sarah Blakely because she bucked the odds. And I think for me, what really strikes me is two things. One is they have a sense of humor about stuff. Like they are committed to not breaking down or letting down because of some sort of disappointment. Sarah tells the story about how around the dinner table, her dad used to ask, "What have you failed at?" Because he knows if she tried something new and failed, that was an indicator of her bravery and tenacity and all the things it takes to really succeed. So for each of us, I think there's a space where do we sink into a story about how we're not succeeding, we're not doing well, and have the evidence? And how do we take that same information and frame it for ourselves so that our neural pathways and our psyche and our DNA and our chemistry can see it as something that's leading us somewhere special? And I don't know where that is, but I'm really excited every day to keep putting my little feet forward and to see where that leads because life really is mysterious and crazy things happen. So I don't know if there's a formula to building a legacy, but I do know that you, you got to be in it to win it. So until you are out on the field every day playing, I can guarantee you it won't happen.
Mm.
But as long as you continue, I've been at this for many years. And so recently somebody said to me that they didn't feel I was passionate enough about my work. And I said, "Really? Pretty sure that if I wasn't passionate, I would not still be doing
Long
it."
gone.
So,
Yeah.
okay, you do you.
Well, Judy, what a great conversation. I really appreciate you sharing your experiences and your insights. We want to connect with you and follow your work and learn more about this great book. Where can we do that?
All of my information is on unforgettableBrands.com, and you can always find me also on LinkedIn or any of the common platforms.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Fantastic. UnforgettableBrands.com. We'll be sure to connect.
that's right. 2 T's, 1 S.
I love it. We've been talking to Judy Winslow. We've been talking about brands, branding, and personal brands and development, and her great book, The Third Act Encore. Judy, it's been a great conversation. We look forward to following your work.
Appreciate you. Be well.
And we want to thank our sponsor, a great brand called White Cloud Coffee Roasters. The bold ideas that we've been talking about deserve bold coffee too, I think. So White Cloud Coffee Roasters has some great blends and ethically sourced coffee. You can get 10% off your first order at whitecloudcoffee.com when you use the code creativity at checkout. Thanks for coming around to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review your World of Creativity on your favorite podcast platform. Join us again next time as we continue our around the world journeys to unlock your world of creativity. I'm Mark Stinson, and we'll see you next time.